For those of you who have been following some of my earlier videos, you know that I have my filtration system primarily in my filter pit, as I call it, and I've recently added some additional filtration in the form of my Upflow filters and the tower shower over there. So what I'm going to do is just give you a quick overview of the filtration system kind of in its entirety, and hopefully that will explain things a little better for you. The filter pit itself is approximately 7 feet by 7 feet and about 4.5 feet deep. So if you can bear with me for a moment, I'm just going to pause the video here so I can open up the flaps and show you the filtration system. So just a moment and I will be right back with you. Alright, I have opened up the flaps over the filtration pit, as you can see, and on the left hand side here you see the step ladder I used to get in and out of the pit, my 2 EasyPod filters, the 2 moving bed filters, and then just down here are the air pumps that run the bottom drain, aerated dome, the moving bed filters, and are also used to clean the EasyPods and the Upflow. So I'm going to get down into the filter pit. I'll do a quick pause for a moment while I climb down the ladder and then explain some of the plumbing and how things are connected down there. Alright, I am now down in the filter pit. As you can see, there's the pond over there. And the way the pond is set up is I have one 4-inch bottom drain at the one end of the pond. The bottom of the pond does slope to the direction of the drain, which would be on the left hand side as we're facing the pond here. That 4-inch line runs underground from the bottom drain. You can see it there, that's the green pipe coming through. It comes into this 4-inch gate valve, which in turn feeds the first EasyPod filter, which in turn through this pipe here feeds the second EasyPod, and then through this pipe that comes into the first moving bed filter. The water from the moving bed, this particular filter here, runs through these pipes, through this line here, through a backflow valve into the second moving bed filter. And in this filter I actually have, at the bottom of it, is my pump. It's a submersible 4,280 gallon per hour pump, and that's in US gallons for those of you in the UK. The pump is connected to a float switch here, so if the water in the barrel drops down much more than where it is, which is kind of like the normal operating level, it will automatically shut off the pump to avoid any further water loss out of the pond or any issues with the pump potentially burning out. That same float switch controls the 2 UV units, which are here and here, and they will shut off at the same time the pump does to avoid the likelihood of burning them out or causing any significant damage should something happen to the water flow. The line from the pump comes up here. It's a 2-inch line split 3 ways. This first line runs down the pipe here, goes through the 2 UV units, and then through the line on the bottom you can see there, and that's a mid-water return into the pond. This upper line here runs down to the upper pipe in there, and that's the second mid-water return. And the third line coming off this side goes through a valve and a one-way valve there, which then runs underground into the Upflow filters, and I will show you that connection in a few moments. The air lines that I have here, the white lines, you can see 2 of them. This pump here, connected to this line, is controlling the air into the bottom drain aerated dome, and also comes around into here, as you can follow it around, to control the air in the moving bed filters. The second line on the second pump here and running down along the bottom there, that line comes along, again moves up to the top in this instance, comes along and is connected to the air fittings for the EasyPods for cleaning purposes. It also runs through this valve here into the Upflow filters for cleaning there. The line that you see coming along here and the gate valves is the drain line for the Upflow filters, It comes underground into the pit, goes through this corrugated line here, under the easy pods, and runs around into my sump barrel, which is down there. And in that sump barrel is or waste barrel is a sump pump, which is connected via a float switch in there, so it comes on automatically depending on water level. And it follows the line along the ground there, coming up in this pipe here, right here, underground over to my property line, where it runs along another pipe, and then down the driveway to waste. The line that you can see down here, this one along here, that is the drain line for the two moving bed filters. So if I need to drain them for any reason, well, they're drained in the winter, but if I'm doing a bit of cleaning or anything like that, that drains there again into the sump area. And the Easy Pod filters are connected through this drain line here, which in turn goes along back into the sump pit as well. Now what I found 2 years ago, when I was changing some of the filtration around, not to the configuration I have now, I did make a few changes. I wasn't getting adequate flow, in my opinion, through the filtration that I had in place at the time. So I rigged up a separate kind of line coming in out of the elbow there, and that's this line here, which feeds directly into the pump system here. So that guarantees I have adequate water flow coming to the pumps at all times, and it also allows a slightly reduced flow rate through the Easy Pod, so they work much more effectively. So what I'm going to do is just give you a quick look at the electrics here first, and then we'll get out and take a look at the connections for the Upflow filters. Now, unlike most of the pond product in the UK that I've seen on many of your videos, all our product here comes with cords molded in and attached, and what we do basically is just simply a matter of getting the appropriate power supply and plugging them in. We fortunately don't have to do the wiring aspect that you do, so it does save a bit of time and a bit of money for us as well. This first power bar here controls the power to the pond pump. These two units are for the, or two plugs I should say, are for my two UV units, and this one powers a light that I will show you in a moment, which is mounted inside my Japanese lantern there, and I'll explain what that is when I get out of the pit. And this, I had mentioned I think in a previous video, is my power unit for my electric fence surrounding the pond. You can see the light flashing there, so that indicates to me that the power is going through the electric fence, keeping the fish safe. So what I'm going to do now is I will get out of the pit. Actually, one more thing I just wanted to mention. This second power bar controls the air pump, controls the second air pump when it is plugged in, and this unit here is the control for the sump pump down there that will turn on and off. It's got its own float switch in it. This plug right here, which is connected to my upper power bar, is connected to the float switch in here, so that again, if this drops for any particular reason, the power to the pumps and the UVs shut off automatically. So I'm just going to pause things there again for a moment, climb out of the pond, and I will continue, climb out of the filter pit, and I will continue with the explanation from out there. Now, just before I move on to the Upflow filters and my shower tower, I had mentioned a moment ago about the light inside the lantern here, and if you look in there you can see that light. The purpose of that is that it is connected, as I mentioned, to the power bar for the water pump and the UV units, and if the pump goes off for any reason at night, because the water flow out here is so quiet, I can look out the window from the house. If that light's off, I know that the pumps are off, which gives me an indicator that I need to come out and check things right away. So it's there as kind of a safety precaution. It's on all the time. It's an LED. It uses next to no electricity. It glows very nicely at night. Kind of lights up the lantern a little bit. And as I said, it does provide kind of a safety mechanism for me to check that the water's flowing into the pond without physically having to come outside. Now moving on from there, these are my recently built and installed Upflow filters and tower shower. And having watched a number of videos from you folks in the UK who have built your own and also installed the Tempest, one thing that many of you did point out was a need, especially for the units that are exposed to sunlight, was to put something on to prevent algae buildup in it. So I have wrapped both of the towers in a fabric with an expansion kind of elasticized band, top, middle, and bottom to keep the sun out. I just slid this one down now so you can kind of see the media in there. It is the K+ media that I had shipped over from the UK. What I do when I'm going to clean the filters is I would drop both of these down, as I've done on this one for the moment, so that I can watch the agitation of the media from down in the pit. Once the cleaning is finished, then this simply slides back up. If I can get this with one hand up here, and I have to fix that a little bit in a moment, but that comes up there like so. And this is now protected from the sunlight, and you can see some sun hitting it now based on the bit of shadow we're getting. It does get quite a bit of sun in the afternoon. These are fed from a line in the pond, or so, again in the filter pit, my apologies, which comes underground over here into the line down there, feeds both of them at the same time. They then come up through a double sort of elbow up here, flow along through this pipe and into the shower tower, to the water running in there. The shower tower then, through these two lines here, connect to the fittings I showed you inside, which run along through the two returns that are over the wall here into the pond. The white line here is the air supply line for cleaning purposes. This is a one-way or a check valve to prevent any water backflowing into the pump and causing, shorting or losing a lot of water for any particular reason. They do seem to be working very, very well. They're making a huge difference in the pond, and it's amazing how much debris they're actually catching, considering the bulk of the water is still coming through the EasyPod filters and the moving beds as well. And I'm just going to walk over here and go around the pond just to give you another quick view from here. You can see the bubbles coming up there. That's from the aerated bottom dome, and the two returns that you see over here and this one over here are the ones that are coming in from the tower shower. So that is the line sort of where the water ends there, and then of course recirculates through the entire system. Fish coming up looking for their evening meal. I'll get something out to them soon. And what I am going to be doing is I've actually ordered another pump to put on the system, which will solely supply the Upflow and the tower shower. The pump that I have in the barrel now and sort of running the system is a 4,280 gallon an hour submersible pump. It does run very well. The problem, however, is because the showers is tall and the upflows are very tall, getting the water that I like volume-wise up to them and maintaining a good flow into the pond with the one pump is getting to be very difficult. So I want to have this kind of return continually, or even a little stronger. But to do that, I have to reduce the flow coming in through the mid-water returns that I showed you earlier, their supplies in the filter pit. So I'm going to install a second pump. I ordered it today. Hopefully it'll be here within about a week. Once I have that, I will get it fit into the filtration system in there, and as I said, it will solely be powering the upflow and the tower shower to get the water moving at a bit higher rate through there, and that will allow me to increase the flow through the UV units as well as the other mid-water return. The water clarity is still not perfect by any means. It is definitely getting much better. You can see the fish, as I said, they're just cruising around looking for their evening meal. They love it out here. The water temperature's been hanging around 22 degrees Celsius, so around 72, 74 Fahrenheit, which is awesome. They are very happy. They're eating well. Everybody appears quite healthy, and thanks to my electric fence, which you can kind of see the wires here, powered by that unit I showed you a few moments ago, it is keeping the fish safe, and knock on wood, I've never lost any of my fish to predators while in this pond. The fence was put in when I was doing a construction to protect the fish, because we do have raccoons, herons, and mink in the area. And as I said, fortunately, I've never lost any to a predator. It does detract from the pond a little bit, I do admit that, but it is making, safety is paramount when it comes to the fish. So with that said, I'm going to end it here with just a quick look at the fish. The battery on the camera is starting to run out, so I'm going to stop things before I lose it completely. And I will get back to you soon when the new pump comes in. If you haven't already done so, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Your support, as always, is very much appreciated. And definitely feel free to leave your comments below. Thank you all. Stay safe. Alright, so further to my tour of the filter system a few moments ago. I have cleaned the 2 easy pods, and I'm now cleaning the Upflow filters, as you can see. They are doing an amazing job, considering that the water has already passed through the easy pods and the biochambers. They are collecting, they being the Upflows, have collected a lot of gunk and are just doing an amazing job. I'm glad that I did decide to take a chance and build these after seeing some of the people using the Tempest there in the UK and commenting on how well they worked, and then seeing other people like Righty and Steve from Cat and I Koi building their own Upflows. I thought I would give it a chance and try my own. These are a bit different than the ones you have built over there, in that the most I could afford from a tube size here was a 6-inch diameter tube, because of the availability of the fittings, such as the caps on the top here. Very difficult to get. The tubes themselves I actually had shipped up from the United States. The fittings I were able to get here, these are a 6 to 4-inch fitting, and it was again a bit of a challenge getting all the bits and pieces together, because we just don't have the same sort of supplies for various fittings, the pipework, etc. I prefabbed the little chambers, or the little grids inside the top and bottom of the filters here to keep the media in place. Was a bit of a challenge again. I couldn't find perforated material, so I had to make my own. But as you can see, they're doing an amazing job. I'm going to let them boil here for a few more minutes, and then I'll drain and do another flush on them, and then get the system back up and running. And I will show you once that is going on. So back with you shortly. And while the filters are in the cleaning mode, just a quick update on the Koi. They are doing extremely well. Loving it out here. The water clarity, as you can see, it is not great by any means. It is definitely getting better day by day, so I'm quite happy with that. And I believe a lot of that has to do with the Upflows and what they're taking out of the water. So these guys and girls got fed earlier this morning, and their regular sort of floating food. I'm going to treat them to some mealworms a bit later on, and then quite possibly some of the silkworm pupae that I picked up recently as well. They'll get that later on today. I'm going to do that a couple of times a week just as a treat. The same with the mealworms, because they get the regular floating food. And then once a week they do actually get some shrimp pieces as well. So they're doing well, loving it out here. And so once the filters are cleaned, I'll get everything up and running again. But just wanted to give you just a quick update. So you can see that they're doing well. Seem to be enjoying the being outside here. and are always anxious for food, especially my oat chiba here. She's always the first one up, so doing very well. I will do another quick snippet of the video when I put the silkworm pupae in, so you can see what they're doing with that. And again, I will add a little bit to the video a little bit later on. Thanks again for watching. I received these in the mail today. This is a bag of dried silkworm pupae. I'm going to try them with the koi now. They have never had these before. No doubt with this bunch, they will be very, very enthusiastic to get something new. So we'll just give you a bit closer look here at them. And we'll chuck a few in and see what happens. As you can see and hear, they are definitely a hit. So they will be just getting these as a treat from time to time. They do get their mealworms on a regular basis, along with their regular food, of course. But I just wanted to give them a try with these. And as I said, they're interesting looking little things here, but they definitely seem to be enjoying them. So just an added little treat from time to time for the koi.